What's up? So Ted Kennedy died, and fucking, I'm gonna have to sort of agree with Confederate Socialist on this issue. I'm not glad that he's dead, but if this signals the end of the Kennedy dynasty, then that makes me a very happy camper. I mean, the Kennedy is the closest thing you can get to American royalty, and I don't want any parts of that. Okay. When they first started making the country and they did Articles of Confederation, they did the Constitution, they were discussing in all seriousness whether or not the United States government should bestow knighthoods or nobility on people or families or whatever, and they decided against it. And this is the reason why, so that people with the name Kennedy or the name whatever that had this title bestowed upon them couldn't just get elected all the time just on their name. And that seems to be what's happening with the Kennedys. I'm not a fan of the Kennedys, really. I didn't want to have seen any of them get killed or die, but John F. Kennedy is one of the top 3 most overrated presidents in the history of the United States, right behind, right with Ronald Reagan and FDR. And the only reason that we even consider JFK in a favorable way is because he was assassinated. Am I saying that somebody who has the last name Kennedy, if they're a good politician in their own right, shouldn't be elected? No. If there's somebody that comes up, just so-and-so Kennedy, who's a good politician, vote for the man. If you like him the best, if he's the best qualified, vote for that person, that man, the woman, whatever. But I don't like the idea of people just getting elected or considered for election just because they have a certain last name. When Clinton vacated her Senate seat, and they were talking about who was an affiliate, for a while they were talking about just some woman named Kennedy. I don't know if she was a cousin or something. And she just out of fucking nowhere, you should pick her. No, that's bad. I don't want any parts of that. I know that you Europeans, and especially British people, think that your monarchs are just ever so cute, but that sickens me. I don't want any parts of that. And you know how much I love you British people, but if there's one thing that I really have to disagree with you on, I think you should have killed those cocksuckers a long time ago. It's not cute. It's disgusting that you still have monarchs. Even if they're little play monarchs, it's still fucked up. You should do something about that. That's the one thing that the French did quite well. So, if this marks the end of the Kennedy dynasty, I think that's a good thing. What else? To all you people, to the Democrats, when I was talking about Republicans and Democrats that got all mad at me when I said that Democrats can't do shit, I seriously hope that you are eating your words right now, because the Democrats aren't doing shit. As I had feared they would. I don't think healthcare is going to pass, folks. It's not going to happen. The Democrats have let themselves be fucked by the lies of the neocons. Great fucking job. Great job. What I think, the only thing that I think Obama could do to fix this problem right now, and to try to alleviate some of these issues with these lies that are floating around, they're going to kill your grandmother, the state's going to pay for abortion, healthcare is going to go to illegal immigrants, all these things being lies. I think that Obama needs to do like a 2-hour direct address to the nation and address these lies. Now, a lot of people are like, it's not the lies that people are again, that's not why. They're really concerned about the money being spent on it's like, listen, I don't doubt that a lot of people are, but the reason that these fucking lunatics are showing up at these town hall meetings and crying about their country being taken away isn't because they're worried about the budget deficit. Give me a fucking break. If they were worried about the budget deficit, they would have been protesting against the Iraq War. What they're worried about is all the lies that are being put forward by the right wing right now. And I think Obama would do himself better to address them head on. Because he really doesn't have anything to lose at this point. People who think that he's going to constantly lie are going to think that he's constantly lies anyway. But there might be some people there in the middle that he might convince by addressing these issues head on. That's what I'd do if I was him, but that's his prerogative. I saw something interesting on CNN. I tried to find it before I did this video, but I can't. I don't seem to be able to find it. No, it's not in here. But it was like a map of the world, and you could scroll the mouse cursor over pretty much every country, minus just a couple, and it showed the percentage of healthcare paid for by the government. It showed the amount per capita paid by the government for healthcare. It showed the amount per capita paid by individuals for healthcare, and it showed the amount per capita in total spent on healthcare, and then it showed infant mortality rates and life expectancy. And this is a very interesting little thing they had here, because according to this thing, the United States government spends more per capita on healthcare than the United Kingdom spends per capita on healthcare. Now, that doesn't make any sense. You'd think, well, in a way it does sort of make sense, but still, I mean, you're talking about the United Kingdom that pays for almost all the health care. Talking about the United States that only spends a little bit on health care, and it's still spending more per person on health care than the UK, and that's fucked up. That doesn't seem right, and the UK has a slightly higher life expectancy rate, a slightly higher infant mortality rate, or slightly lower infant mortality rate, and overall spends less money per capita on health care than the United States does. This is not total money, okay? Now, that would be a different story if we're talking about just flat how much money is being spent, because then there's differences in populations, But we're talking about money per person. That doesn't really affect the that's not affected by population. That's real fucked up. Cuba, man, spends, I don't know, a total of like $700 or something like that, total per capita on healthcare. The government pays for like 90-something% of it, and they have the same life expectancy as us, and they have a lower infant mortality rate. Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. Either way, they're still doing better than us in spending like $700 per capita a year on healthcare in total, personal and government expenses. That's real fucked up. There's something very, very wrong there. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I wonder if anybody's got a link, if you got an article, if you got something that will explain that to me to my satisfaction. That would be very interesting, because I don't know how the fuck that's possible. Well, it fucks. Obviously, it's possible. It just fucks with my head. All right. There's something to be. There's something there that should tell us something very important about this issue. I mean, why is it that we spend more money than any country on the planet on healthcare, for either per capita by the government or per capita by person and in total, and we still have a lower life expectancy and a higher infant mortality rate than a lot of other countries? Then Cuba, fucking Cuba, they spend $700 per year on healthcare. What is going on? What is the explanation for this? What is the missing thing in here that changes this? And I think the answer is the insurance companies and the healthcare industry in this country. But if anybody has an article on that, that'd be fucking excellent. I'll talk to you folks a little bit later. And I'll keep talking through this segment again if YouTube doesn't cut me off. I just don't want to be sitting here doing nothing for 30 seconds if it doesn't cut me off. It always does. Someday it won't, though, and I'll be playing with myself or something for the last 30 seconds. And I'll get in a lot of trouble. So I gotta do what I gotta do.